So we are at the back door of the front door of the breezeway. There will be no plants in the breezeway that you have to worry about. The pots in the corners usually don't get a whole lot of rain, so the things up close here definitely will need water, probably. Do not overwater. I have all my hostas in pots, and you can see the leaves are covering many of the pots, so you will have to be sure that you get into each pot to water each one. You may have to, there's a bee, you may have to move some leaves just to give them a little drink, and I'm going to show you like how much of a drink the water hose is always on, so all you have to do is lift this up. Now it's on a stream. I'm going to put it on shower, and that's what I water things with. This is my gardenia in this pot. I put about that much water in that because it needs lots of water. With my with these hostas, I would water them about like that and get close for the ones that are getting covered up. And that's about all I'd give them. These things back here, don't, especially that little guy down there, don't water it a lot. Don't water this, anything that looks like it has a cactus in it, just give it a little drink and move on. These things in here just take a little bit. So that's about how I water. Unless they're really, really, really dry and drooping. The only ones that usually droop are the gardenia, which is that guy there in the big white pot. He gets thirsty fast. Here's some Japanese maple trees that need to get some water. I've got some partially dead things here, but I don't want to give up on them. So there's some herbs down in underneath this little thing here. These are little different types of geraniums. Just give them a little drink. Okay. Right next to the gardenia is this little pot here. It's supposed to be part sun. It's drooping because it hasn't been watered. So I'm going to give it a good drink. If you want to take this one home, please do. Okay. My jade trees are all along the side of the porch. So I want you to only give them a very, very quick drink. They don't need lots. Now that little guy there with this blue ball, he's not a jade plant, so you can give it lots of water. Just a little drink. This guy on top here, he gets dried out pretty quick. He's on top of the table. You can give him a good drink. Make sure you water my tree, Japanese maple, on the porch, and the hostas that are behind it. Here is a succulent thing. Don't give it too much water. Rosemary. This white big barrel here can take lots of water. All these, this kind of stuff. This thing, where's, oh, he's in the breezeway. Come on, Lynn. This is something that you can water pretty profusely. And this poor little guy looks like he's dried up. Okay, more succulents are at the front of each, on the side of each step. I wouldn't water them unless they're super duper dry. There's one little, you can take that pot home if you want. It's in a tall thing and just has a few oddball flowers in it, but it needs watered. That's another succulent, but there's a lavender, and then right up at the front of the house is another Japanese maple. I put these maples like this, and there's another shrub so that they protect these hostas from the sun. That guy looks like he's getting up too much sun. Daddy brought up some of the plants from under the maple, so there will not be any plants you need to worry about under the maple. We'll put these on the front with everything else. So you're just watering all of this junk. Okay, here's the side of the house. There is a hose lying in the pathway between the pine trees and the house. I think Tim keeps this on all the time also, but I don't know where the end is. Oh, here it is. Okay, so to turn this one on, you see it has a little lever here and here. If you turn this one on, it's going to come out the open. So you're going to turn it on this one, and he might have turned it off. It doesn't seem like it's coming out very... Okay, so I opened it up so that it's in a kind of a shower mode. There's 3 things on the side of the house. You can water these things if they look dry. If they don't, leave them be. These things tend to stay pretty wet. This one is herbs again, and for some reason some of them have died. I'm afraid that the water, it got too wet with the rain This one is all succulents. You probably do not have to water it whatsoever. Nothing along the back of the house needs to be watered unless something is shriveled up and dying. Everything else should be fine. There's nothing under the maple tree you need to worry about. We'll water this cactus before we go, so don't worry about it. Where I'm out at the garden now, there are some big pots that have my trumpet flowers in them. They will most likely need to be watered, all of them. And then the tomato plants that are in these pots in the front of this bed need to be watered. There's some more over here. And then behind the second bed, there's again some more. Lindy, get over here. Come on. There's some more plants that need watered. And these couple trees need watered in the back. This one's full of weeds. But the only bed you probably have to worry, and this one in the middle, the only bed you have to worry about would be his tomato plants here. Look at them. If it looks really dry, we'll probably water it tonight because it's pretty dry. So we'll water it tonight. It's supposed to rain tomorrow. But check it and see what it looks like. There's a couple plants back here. I planted a couple tomato plants right here. If you would water those guys too. We'll probably put cages on them before we leave so you can more easily see them. And that's about it. Just the containers. So, in review, the water hose is in the window well. There's the end. You just swing this up to turn it on and water everything through here and make sure the big Japanese maples get a little more of a drink than the rest of them. Don't go too heavy on these three guys up front because they tend to get rot. All these hostas, just a quick drink. They don't need a whole lot. Do not water this heavily, that heavily, or that heavily. It is a succulent type thing. Everything else, you can take that one home on the white drum. This poor guy gets burnt because he's in the sun longest. I have hostas and Japanese maples up on the back of the front porch out of the sun. Do not water my jade plants in all here. I don't think they'll need any water at all. None of these. Do not water the squares at the front of the porch or this one here because it is all succulents, but you can water everything else up here, including that little doggy in the window. Look at the things in here very, very quickly. If some of the flower things are droopy, give them a drink. Like we just planted this azalea bush a couple days ago. We'll give him a drink now, but if it rains, he should be good.